Yeah, so White Pepper, when I was in like middle school and high school, which was when I was like kind of in the first great Ween phase of my life, for some reason I always kind of skipped over White Pepper and just went like straight to Quebec, because Quebec is just like a lot.
Do you have Zola fun?
Yeah, a great song. Yeah, Quebec is just like a little bit more like kind of fucked up and experimental and just like a really weird, amazing record. And I feel like for whatever reason at the time I was just like, White Pepper is just like whatever. And now that I'm older, I feel like it's just like a great like top to bottom pop album.
Oh, it's incredibly.
It's just like every single song is like a pop gem.
It's god tier
great.
songwriting.
Absolutely. That last song on there, She's Your Baby,
yeah.
That's like the fucking saddest song I've ever heard.
We were
it's
listening
amazing.
to that. We were listening to that before you.
Oh, no way. I love that, man. You guys are really prepared for this interview.
I mean, that was kind of like the extent of what we did.
That and looking at pictures of your dog.
Oh, I mean, honestly, if there are two big things you need to know about me, it's one, I love Ween, and my dog is named Keith. Yeah.
And his Ween is actually visible.
Yeah, dude, his Ween is probably getting a lot of airtime right now. We call him a Senior Dickhole a lot at the house. Yeah,
that sounds like a Ween song. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually have we have some like very Ween core. My partner and I have some kind of Ween core songs about Keith. One is called Chode Mode, and then there's also just a song that is like Keith the Clam, which is a name we called him after he rolled in a bunch of dead shellfish at the beach one day and smelled worse than anything I've ever smelt in my entire life.
Hey, he's doing the work destigmatizing chode status. It's time.
Also, we've now got the episode title.
Do it. Justice for chodes, you know?
Well, between you and your partner, who's Gene and who's Dean?
This is the conversation we have a lot.
Nice,
So I think that I tend to be more of the Gener of the group in a lot of ways. First of all, Gene, Ween, and I are both Pisces, so big connection.
Birthday
there.
recently?
What's that?
Was it your birthday recently?
It was, last week. Or actually this last weekend. Whoa, I feel time.
You say salud.
Yeah. Cheers. But yeah, I think I'm definitely more of the Gene. I tend to write a lot of the like sadder songs and do like kind of be more interested in like I would say sensitive music, which is something they talk about. I read the like Ween Chocolate and Cheese book, and there's like a very funny thing about how Diener was like only into punk rock, and then Gene was just like, well, I really like Prince and Laurie Anderson, and I'm like, I see myself way too much in that. And then my partner Wendy Eisenberg, who's also an amazing musician, they are definitely Dean. They are guitar god shredder, really into rock music,
straight up punk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking about my girlfriend is like incredibly like normie status, well adjusted, just like regular human being, non-freakazoid. She lied to define state variable.
Song's amazing. It's beautiful. It's like a perfect love song. Yeah. I love that song. I love Even If You Don't. I think that both of those songs are like Wendy and I have talked about this a lot too, where it's like those songs are like basically people trying to write like Ween trying to write like the Beatles, but it sounding nothing like the Beatles really. And I think that that's like a genre. It's like one of the kind of modes they have that I really love. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like the existence and success of SpongeBob, or you need to prove that like being uncompromising weird is like worth it.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's just crazy too, because it's like like the whole success of SpongeBob and creation of SpongeBob is like all based on the Wallace by me.
Yeah,
too,
exactly. Yeah,
which is like amazing, and I feel like I go really deep on Ween Reddit too, and there was like this whole thread where it's like, man, which also Ween Reddit is like definitely like the best like Reddit community, because
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of people who are clearly all super plays, like just being like, dude, isn't Ween so great? And like one of the things about like the SpongeBob Malls connection is, and I think that this is really true, they're like, man, all the voices of the characters are right there in the first few tracks. Like you got SpongeBob like on Dancing in the Show Tonight, and then like Mr. Krabs on the Blarney Stone, and then like even Patrick's on Polka Dot Tail, and I'm like, damn, like it's fucking true though. Like I love Ween Reddit, r/Ween, yeah.
Shout out.
Do you?
Yeah, shout out.
Would you aspire to writing a concept album that, you know, has a runoff hit cartoon show?
Oh man, who wouldn't aspire to that? Like I'd be a fool if I said no. I would love to like write something that is that successful. Yeah, and that makes someone create a like lasting masterpiece of a cartoon too.
Does Texas still come up in like your music a lot, even after leaving?
Yeah, to some degree I think it, well yeah, I mean I think it does. A lot of like, I feel like what I've been interested in is sort of like wrestling with the fact that a lot of my background was in Texas, and especially playing like folk music and country music, like growing up and being really sort of like inundated in that world. And so I think that like it's something I'm always sort of thinking about in terms of how I'm writing, and it's also just those things are so kind of baked into my musical DNA that it's like hard for them to leave. And it's been something I've actually kind of, since moving here, really embraced a little bit more, because I just feel like there's a lot more, there's a lot to be explored there, and I feel a little bit more comfortable doing it removed from like the environment,
Right,
and where I grew up doing it. Yeah.
So growing up and playing all these country open mics, is that how you ended up opening for Mumford & Sons?
Whoa.
Whoa, amazing segue. Kind of in a roundabout
Wait, do you want to give
way.
us credit for knowing that?
Yeah, amazing. How did you get such incredible research, guys? You must have had to dive really deep in that. Yeah, that is kind of true. I did a lot of shows for this radio station at one of the colleges in San Antonio, KRTU, which would like put on a bunch of different shows. And one year they had this like South by Southwest party, and they asked my band to play, which was like at the time pretty like cringy, early aughts like twee pop type of shit. Yeah. Pretty painful stuff. And we got asked to play this show. And it was like all of these British bands, like first show in America. And two of the artists were Laura Marling and Mumford and Sons.
Oh, nice.
And this was at it was in the middle of South by Southwest. And it was at this just kind of like pretty nondescript pizza restaurant. And so we opened the show and came off stage afterwards. And the Mumford and Sons guys were all there and were like, that was great, like amazing. And we decided we were gonna like stick around. He's like, man, these British guys are really nice. And we stuck around and watched their set. And my friends and I at the time, I think we got halfway through, and we were like, man, this is kind of boring, let's get out of here. And so we just like left. And then flash forward like a year and a half later, and I was like at this like girl I was seeing at the time's dorm, and her roommate was playing Mumford and Sons, and I think I literally was like, what is this bullshit? And and she was like, oh, it's Mumford and Sons, my like roommate's obsessed with it. And I was like, no fucking way. I was like, the band from the pizza place? Like, and then I was just out of the loop, and I had no idea that they were like winning all these Grammys and like massively successful. And so it was a very surreal feeling, but they were really nice guys, I will say. They were like